And recently we spoke with line producer Connor Dougan all about the game. So let's see what Connor has to say about NCAA Basketball 10. All right, now it's time to take a look at NCAA Basketball 10. I'm joined by EA Sports' Connor Dougan. Connor, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
All right, so NCAA Basketball 10, of course, it's the college basketball games you guys put out every year. Well, let's load it up, and while we're loading it up, I want to ask you about, we have the CBS presentation, but we've also got ESPN. You can choose which presentation type you want, right?
That's exactly right. So we default the game to random broadcast presentation. So depending if you're playing a play now, quick match, then it's going to be either ESPN or CBS Sports. So that's full ESPN integration and branding. And as you can take a look on the screen, you see the CBS intro wipe with the heartbeat, followed by the music that you know and love. That really helps evoke an emotional response that you know and love, because CBS has been doing the tournament since 1982, and anyone who's a college basketball fan identifies with this look, these announcers, and of course this music.
And speaking of the tournament, sorry to interrupt, but speaking of the tournament, you've got the CBS is doing, you know, the NCAA tournament in this game, and a different sort of look for that as well, right?
Right. So we wanted to make. Not only do we have regular season CBS and regular season ESPN, but we also have a tournament broadcast package that differentiates the two. So when you're playing in your dynasty mode, you know, for the regular season games, for the Monday to Friday games, for the most part, you're going to get ESPN. And then when it comes to the weekend games, you're going to get CBS Sports, and then conference tournament times. It depends on, you know, which broadcast partner owns the rights to the tournament. So you'll get CBS or ESPN. And then, of course, the NCAA tournament is owned by CBS Sports, so it's true and authentic, and it's changing and evolving as your season progresses.
Very cool. So we've talked about presentation. Let's go back to the motion control offense you were talking about earlier. That is, you have several different ways you can run your offense in this game, right?
Right. We have 8 brand new offensive systems that we put in. So the goal was to focus on, you know, what are the things that are unique to college basketball, like the Princeton offense, the dribble drive offense that, you know, was run at Memphis, and now that Coach Cal went to Kentucky, will be run at Kentucky. The 4-around-1, the 5-out, and really it's all about sort of ball movement, team play, and the ability to react to organic situations. And one of the challenges with this feature was to find a way to make it so it's easy to use. Anytime we talk about play calling in most sports games, it's really an involved process, and we wanted to make it easier for the casual consumer to enjoy what it's like to play college basketball.
Yeah, because you don't really necessarily need to know all the plays in your playbook. It's just as simple as tapping a button, right?
Right. So you can bring the ball up the court, let your guys settle into formation, as I'm doing right here. So I bring the ball up the court. You can see that the Kansas team is in a 4-around-1 formation. I tap my LB button. I can see direct pass icons coming up over players' heads. You can see guys cutting across the key, hard cuts the basket, and there's a backdoor opportunity. And I just squeezed it through, and I missed the layup.
Yeah, well, it happens.
Yes. Yeah.
So, but for the more hardcore guys, that you can call specific plays and do all the good stuff.
Yeah, you can change up your motion offenses in your playbook, and there's a variety of them. I can switch it on the fly between, you know, a zone motion offense, or my 4-around-1, or a 5-out motion. But I can also call plays like I used to, whether they're set plays or quick plays, all like I've been able to do in the past.
And you call for picks and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah, right? Definitely.
And notice there that the guy, that pass was broken up. The one thing I really appreciate about this is calling a play is not necessarily a guaranteed success. Things happen, right?
No, you're right. It's about execution, and it's about timing. And as you see opportunities arise, you're gonna maybe force it just like in real life and try to sneak that pass in there, or you're gonna hit a guy coming off a screen just like so, and then hopefully it works out for you. But we've also done a lot from the defensive standpoint, because we had a lot more cutting to the basket, a lot more cutting off screens, and we needed a way to defend that. So guys are a lot more active in the passing lanes to make it so it's not, like you said, effective every time, and it's not an exploit. It's about balancing, and it's about execution.
So let's say my favorite team runs an offensive set that I don't really like. and can I change it up? And how tied to that offensive motion scheme am I? Depending on the personnel.
Yeah, well, yes, to answer your first question, you can change it up, and that's just by going into your playbooks and modifying your playbook to make it custom to what you like. And then in terms of modifying or the successfulness of the offense, depending on your team or your personnel. Let's say I have a team that primarily runs 3 around 2. That means 3 guards on the perimeter, 2 big men, and generally they'll run that offense because they have 2 good big men. And so to change their offense to a 5-out offense where 5 guys are along the perimeter, to effectively run that offense, you need a lot of guys who can, handle the ball, shoot from the perimeter. So it's really based on your personnel. Same with, for example, the dribble drive. That offense is really focused on dribble penetration. And it's going to be tough if you have a team with, not a lot of guys who can get to the basket.
Very cool. So it's all about making it look like you know what you're doing on the basketball court, even if you don't necessarily know what you're doing on the basketball court.
Exactly, and it's not about having to know the intricacies of the Princeton offense, because it takes a lot of college kids more than 4 years to learn anyway.
Right.
It's about being authentic to the sport, but also making it fun for people to just pick up, play, and execute offensively and execute and play a college basketball game and all the cool things that go along with that. That means, motion, timing, and, be rewarded for that.
Well, very cool. Well, Connor, thanks for being here. One more question, of course, is when is this game coming out and what platforms?
The game ships on November 17th, in stores on the 18th, and that'll be on the PS3 and Xbox 360. There
you go. NCAA Basketball 10. If you want to know more about the game, you can check the game space at GameSpot.com.
All right, so that was your look at NCAA Basketball 10. Now,